Radar. This is King Black, and I'm gonna tell y'all why Tekashi 69 is so afraid of staying in jail, especially if for any reason he got put into the penitentiary and not the jail. But even in jail, you face a lot of risks. And this is why. Everybody knows by now that Tekashi 69 reps the Blood Gang. Most likely the UBN from New York. It's no secret. He's always, throwing up the bees. He even got his Tahoe wrapped with that red bandana. And Tekashi has been going all over the country, trying to get his clout point game up. And for a long time it worked, He kept telling people to come test his gangster. He wasn't afraid of nobody, And you had the Texas situation, you had the LA situation, but he came out of it without a scratch. The one L I can say that he took was when he went to Chicago and he supposedly went to O Block. And he made a video saying nobody was out there, and a lot of people were saying that he went there early in the morning, like at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, that nobody was going to be outside anyway. And surveillance video showed that he wasn't even there for a minute. And at the first sign of a vehicle approaching, he jumped in his Tahoe or his SUV and left. So it was basically fronting for the IG, doing the Bow Wow Challenge, Hood Edition. Anyways, so that's the only L I can say that he took, legitly. Now, the reason why Tekashi is afraid to stay in jail or to be there for an extended period amount of time, especially when he got his bail denied at first. He's out on bail now, so he's not there now. He's free, but he still has to go down to Texas and turn himself in. But he won't stay in jail down there either. Supposedly they granted him bail down there too for $5,000, so he'll be out. But the reason why he's afraid to go to jail, especially like where he was at Rikers, even though Rikers has a large blood presence there, is you had to think, man, this kid is from a generation that previous generations don't understand, These new kids in the organization now are doing a whole lot of funny stuff. And you have to remember that in the jail and in the prisons, you have people that have spent decades behind bars who haven't been free since the early 80s, mid 80s, early 90s. And these people, these shot callers or OGs, whatever you want to call them, it's like they're stuck in a time machine. They don't know what's going out here truly. They might hear rumors, and they personally probably never even used an iPhone. You know what I'm saying? These people are stuck in time. And when you have these hardcore shot callers that have been in jail for 15, 20 years, especially if they're a blood in Rikers or whatever prison Tekashi makes it at, gangbanging and being a gang member, especially in the 80s and 90s, was a whole totally different thing, man. Tekashi would not have been accepted back then. That rainbow hair, rainbow grill, none of that would have been given the okay back then. And for one of these shot callers that's been 20 years in jail now, they've been living, breathing eat it. You know, prison, jail. They're already king of that bubble. And they're set in their ways. So, when they see this kid pull up with rainbow hair claiming blood, something that these people probably killed for back in the late 80s, or dealt a whole bunch of crack or heroin for in the early 90s, and are spending 20, 30 years for these actions, I'm going to look at him and be like, I didn't do what I did for people like him to be a part of my organization. And they don't play. You know, in jail, you know, I talk all this stuff like avoid violence and you know, use it as a last resort or use it as self-defense. Don't look for trouble. But in jail and in prison, you ain't got to worry about all that because it's going to find you. Especially if you're new and nobody knows who you are. Or even if some people know who you are, you know, they're going to want to test you. And I don't think Tekashi's prepared for all that, man. Because you look at him stature-wise, you know, he's not built like, if you look at pictures of what Tookie used to look like, you know, one of the founders of the Crips back in the day, man, he was built. If you look at a lot of these people in prison and jail, they're built because all they're doing is push-ups, sit-ups in their cell hundreds of times. And then you got Tekashi out there, he's gonna go to jail with his rainbow hair. You're gonna have some sharks in that jail system looking at him in a different kind of way. You know? And I once heard a quote that in jail, everything's for sale. So, if somebody wanted to get close to Tekashi, man, it's only a matter of time. And I've been hearing some real goofy stuff going down, you know? And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. That's why I say you should be living right and not trying to get in jail or be put in the penitentiary. Because there ain't nothing good waiting for you there. There's no positivity there. You know, you got people who made the wrong choices, spending decades of their life, if not their whole life in jail, or never getting out. And if you come up in there with short time, you know, a couple years, 5 years, 10 years max, they will have no problem telling you to go shank somebody. And if you don't do it, they're going to deal with you. And if you do it and you get caught, if somebody snitches on you, you're going to become one of them. You're also going to be spending decades behind bars, spending your whole life behind bars. You're just going to be just like them, whether you wanted it or not. So that's why my best advice is to avoid any type of activity that's going to get you there.